Welcome back to Chaos and Carry Ons, the podcast where travel is equal parts magic and mayhem.
I'm Stephanie, the Chicagoland native, mom of 3, and the one who still insists that pizza is a full food group.
And I'm Shelby, mom of 1, Disney superfan, and officially a Chicago newbie.
Today, I get to play the part of the tour guide while Shelby is going to be coming along for the ride on her first trip to the Windy City.
Knowing us, there's going to be a lot of chaos along the way.
Chaos and carry ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride. Join the journey, come inside.
Okay, Steph, since you grew up near Chicago, tell me, what makes it special?
Well, it's really the perfect mix of skyscrapers, amazing food, Lake Michigan. It just feels a lot friendlier than what they say New York is. I don't know. I've never been. But there's plenty to do for kids. And that's what I really like about it.
So Taylor's not going to sit and complain the entire time.
Well, she'll be complaining, but she's going to be very distracted by all of the fun things that we're going to do on this imaginary trip.
Can you believe I've never been to Chicago ever?
I know. Well, like I said, when I was saying that about New York, I'm like, well, what they say it is, you know.
I have been to New York multiple times. I've been to California, like to Los Angeles. I've been to San Diego. I've been to Phoenix and Vegas. I've been to lots of big cities, Colorado Springs, Denver. I've never been to Chicago. Well, and I live right here. Like, I live so close. Now, I've been to Atlanta a lot. Obviously, Nashville, because that's where I live. But, like, why not Chicago? I don't know.
Well, by the end of this, Shelby and everybody that's listening is going to want to take a trip to Chicago.
I know. I really do. So, where are we going first on our imaginary trip?
So, on this trip, we have to start at Millennium Park to see the bean, because this is the I made it to Chicago picture that you see all over Instagram. So, we have to start there. I'm sure you've seen it and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was Millennium Park. Is that
Yes.
like, that's where it is? That's
Yes.
the location? Okay.
Yeah, it's in the Millennium Park. But the sculpture's official name, I had to look this up, is Cloud Gate. But the nickname is because, you know, it looks like a bean. So it's just one of those pictures that everybody feels like they need. So we had to start there.
I want to tell you my favorite thing, like when I see people post this picture in front of the bean on Instagram or Facebook, like when they've been to Chicago, I love looking at the reflection in there and seeing like all the people that are around taking pictures, or the reflection of the person taking the picture that was posted. That's my favorite pastime. Not
That's
really.
so funny.
But like when I see somebody post that, and now you will, every time you see somebody post a picture in front of this, you're going to look at the reflection now.
Well, Millennium Park is a popular park that people like to go to. It's right there in the heart of the city. It feels very Chicago. I'll say that. But since Shelby loves the zoo, I think that's the first big place that we're going to go to. But there's 2 different zoos. So there's Lincoln and then there's Brookfield. And Brookfield is a Chicago suburb. So of course it's like in Brookfield, but the zoo is awesome. So Lincoln is a lot smaller. It's more quaint. Everything is like very close together. Even when I was talking to my mom about this morning, because we were going to record, she was saying, I love Lincoln because it's so small and it's free. Brookfield is, as she put it, massively spread out. So kind of like if you've been to a very big zoo where you can take a tram tour. I don't know if you've ever been to a zoo where you can take a tram tour. You can take one at Brookfield. But they have like a farm, the butterfly house, a dolphin show, a ape house. So it's got like all different kinds of monkeys in this big house. And you're going from like, I don't know how to explain it, but like from exhibit to exhibit to exhibit, looking at all these different kinds of monkeys, apes. It's very, very cool. So if you're a zoo lover, I really think Chicago is your city, and you could go to both because, hey, Lincoln's free and why not just walk through it, right?
That would be, as you said, we love zoos, and that's something that we try to do everywhere we go, every city, every trip. If we can, we try to do the zoo. And we've been to some really, really good ones, but I've heard so many people say that Brookfield is their favorite.
Yes.
My favorite so far is the Fort Worth Zoo that we went to in Texas. And I have heard it compared to that Brookfield, but I need to go see for myself and see which one's better. Everything that you mentioned as far as like the tram tour and all that, that sounds like Fort Worth. But when we were there, it was mid-pandemic and there were several things that were closed. So I feel like I got robbed of the real experience, but that's probably the closest that I've been. But I really want to do the Brookfield.
Well, Brookfield is probably, this is a guess, maybe 40 minutes outside of the city. So if you're going to be staying in Chicago, then I would say just go to Lincoln. It's still a good zoo. Everything is a lot closer up. I'm going to put it that way. And if you go to a lot of zoos, you know what I mean by closer up. Sometimes you feel like you're kind of far away, and you do feel that way some of the time in Brookfield because the exhibits are just so big. But I have a lot of memories at the Brookfield Zoo. My grandparents always had an annual pass. I remember we would take like a picnic and eat outside. It was just somewhere that we always went every single year. So I prefer the Brookfield Zoo, but like I said, my mom prefers the Lincoln Zoo because it's not nearly as much walking. And my mom likes a zoo where the animals are up close. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about this. But I really think that what makes that zoo so neat is that they have a dolphin show. And it's awesome. I love that dolphin show.
The last time you went, you sent me a video of the ape house. Is that what it's called? Gorilla house?
Yes.
What did you call it? Ape house?
It's called the ape house, yes.
That was awesome. And me and Jordan, every time we go, we are so fascinated by gorillas, apes, monkeys, whatever. That's where we spend the majority of our time at any zoo, is watching those monkeys, because it's hilarious how much like people they act. It's insane. And when you sent me that video, like, that's where I would be. That's where you would find me. Everybody else can go do everything else. I'm going to be watching the monkeys.
Yes. Like I said, they have like multiple, I mean, they call it the ape house because there's multiple exhibits in there and you're kind of like walking through this long house, but they're actually redoing it. I think parts of it were closed when we were there. So I was looking forward to it getting reopened.
Okay. So we're moving on. If you've listened to the podcast for any length of time, you know that this question's going to be there and you're not going to be the least bit surprised. So we're going to talk food. I want to know, because I think I know what the top thing in Chicago to eat is, but I want to hear what you have to say. Where are we eating lunch on our imaginary trip?
So of course we're going to have to eat deep dish pizza. So I think whenever I was researching this, it gave me Illuminati's and Giordano's, which those are big places. My sister, I know that she likes Illuminati's, but I'm going to say if this was me and I'm the tour guide, then I'm going to Gino's East or Giordano's. And if you've never had deep dish pizza, it's basically a brick of cheese with sauce on the top. So think like a pizza cake. I prefer Gino's East, but you can actually order Giordano's online and have it sent to your house. I've done it many times, but they do have a Gino's East in Nashville if you're listening to this and you're local. And Derek and I have went there and ate, and it's really good.
Does it taste authentic?
I think it does. I did not try the thin crust, which is what I normally eat. And I think every Chicagoland native probably feels this way, that the deep dish is for the tourists and the locals eat the thin crust. I think what they call like bar style, I think. Tavern style, that's it. But that's
Would
what
that
I
be
prefer.
like, is that like New York style pizza, like that kind of thin crust, or this is just a thinner version of the deep dish?
No, New York style is completely different than tavern style. I don't know how to describe it. Like, just everything about it is different. Like, the cheese tastes different. I would say it's thinner than the New York style. But the New York style has a lot more cheese on it. Also in Chicago, a lot of times their sausage is that, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like a chunk, almost like a chunk of sausage. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's not like a circle, like cut out sausage. This is like a chunk. I don't know how else to explain it. And not just like ground up sausage. Chicago pizza, to me, is the best. Like, I like it better than New York. And it was funny because I actually watched this series on the Today Show and they were talking about it. And they were saying that people that are from New York love New York pizza, but they still will pick Chicago tavern style over New York style pizza, where people from Chicago will still pick the tavern style over the New York. So they were saying, like, it's not like a thing of nostalgia or, you know, like where New York is like picking something different because they grew up with that. No, they were like, no, most people prefer that tavern style pizza.
Well, pizza is my love language, so I'm just going to have to go see. Now, I love a New York style pizza, and nothing beats the pizza in New York. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's $2.99 for this slice the size of your face. I don't know. But I'm going to have to go check this Geno's East that's in Nashville. I'm going to have to try it. I'll report back.
Then also they have a Chicago hot dog, and there's no ketchup. But those are like, I feel like a dime a dozen. Like, you can find them anywhere. Most people think Portillo's when they think Chicago hot dog. But the place where I go when I go back home is not Portillo's, actually. It's just like this little mom and pop place that sells a Chicago hot dog. You could, like I said, a dime a dozen. You can find them anywhere.
I have never had a Chicago style hot dog, but I will say we got Portillo's the last time we were in Florida, and I don't like it. I've tried it many times, and I just am not a fan. I don't see what the hype is.
I do think it's partly that nostalgia thing, but I will say that Portillo's is not the best place to try one. I'll say that. Like, it's good to me because I grew up eating them, but it's not my favorite Chicago style hot dog or Italian beef or any of those things.
Yeah, it was just so, I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't. Everybody that I know that goes to Chicago talks about Portillo's. And I have so many friends right now that are probably like, oh, I can't believe you're saying this on the podcast. But I really I was disappointed because I thought it was going to be better than it was. Now, I tried the Italian beef. I did not try the Chicago hot dog. It was the Italian beef that I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that's not one of my favorite Italian beefs. It's good. It's just not what I think of when I think about going home to eat Italian beef. It's not from Portillo's. I don't even think about going back to get a hot dog there. And some of my friends probably are like, what? Because I know people that live back where I live and they love Portillo's. I'm not saying that I don't, because I love the strawberry shortcake. That is my jam.
Yeah, now that was good.
But if I'm going to eat a Chicago style hot dog, I'm going to George's. That is where I get mine, and I love it, love it, love it. I have so many when I'm there that Derek is sick of it.
Okay, so let's move on to museums. So I want to know what your favorite museums are, because this is another thing that we're into, which 12-year-old me is like, what in the world? But I don't know, maybe it's getting older, the culture, I don't know what it is. I love them. So tell me about the museums.
So we should start at the Shed Aquarium, because we just came from the zoo. So all three of mine love the aquarium. This is one of the few places in the U.S. where you can see a beluga whale. It's one of the largest aquariums in the U.S. They also have a dolphin show there. There's a penguin backstage tour, encounter, whatever you want to call it, where you can feed the penguins. We have not gotten to do that yet, but that is high on my bucket list to do, because I think you have to be 7 to do that. We always don't have... our kids are never the right age, because I think one of the last times that we went, it was during COVID, like when the girls could have done it and they weren't doing it. Then we had to start all over again with Mateo, so we have to wait till he turns 7.
You need to check into the Chattanooga Aquarium, because they also do something like this. And I know that because my cousin Shayna, that was on the podcast, her now husband proposed to her in that part of the aquarium. And really? I can't remember the story. I shouldn't have even brought it up because I can't remember the story. And I'm sure now I'm like leaving a cliffhanger. But they did some kind of something with the penguins and he proposed there. And I can't. That's awesome. He had like the cutest little thing that he said when he proposed. And I cannot remember. I'll have to talk to her and get the story. But anyway, so you need to look into that because you might be able to do it sooner there. I don't know. It may be the same thing, but that would be something to check into.
Yeah. So then they have the Field Museum, and they have Sue, the T-Rex. That's what most people remember the Field Museum to be. Even Sophia loves the Field Museum, and she's 17. The Mummies exhibit alone is worth going to the Field Museum to me. It is awesome. Awesome. So you don't have to be like just a lover of dinosaurs or just the mummies. They have all kinds of different things there. The Science and Industry is also like a favorite. Most people prefer that one. I have a lot of memories there as a kid. They always have new exhibits. If you're like a science lover or your kids really love science, that's probably the museum that you want to go to. They're all three together. It's Shed, Field, Science and Industry. Oh, I'm sorry. And then the planetarium is also. They're kind of all like in a circle, like along Lake Michigan. So they're all together. The planetarium, believe it or not, is to me one of the best things that they have there. And I'm going to say why I think this. So when I was a kid, I used to go there all the time for field trips. And I still remember so many things that I learned from that planetarium. They have like a sky show. Have you ever been to a planetarium before?
If I did, I was a little kid. But we have one in Nashville that I'm planning to take Taylor to soon.
Okay, so you sit in this chair and it's like dark and, they do like they show you the different constellations on the ceiling, but it's like, looks like stars. It is awesome at the Chicago Planetarium. So I think if you have a kid that's like obsessed with space, even if you just think they might like it, I think it's awesome. When I was thinking about this, I was thinking somebody that is homeschooling and you want like a field trip, to me, the planetarium is the one that I would pick just because I think that so much of that sticks with them. Because like I said, I still remember the things that I learned from that planetarium because I have not been since going when I was a kid. And I still remember it like very vividly.
That's amazing. Well,
yes, that's like what an impression it made.
We do homeschool, and I'm always looking for an excuse for a vacation. So this field trip sounds wonderful.
Yeah, that's like I said, when I was thinking about it, I was like, it's really like a good like field trip thing because when I think of it, that's what I think of. And I still like when we look up at the stars and Derek be like, there's Orion's belt. That's what I think of as learning about it at the planetarium.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm going all the way to Chicago, I say all the way, it's literally like 9 hours from my house. I don't even know if it's that far.
Yeah, because it's 9 from mine, so it has to be like 7 from yours.
Yeah, 7.5 hours. Anyways, I feel like I need to experience the skyscraper part because that is my favorite part of big cities, the city skyline. And I hear that Chicago is the birthplace of the skyscrapers.
Yes. So most people will go to the Willis Tower. It used to be called the Sears Tower. I still call it that. It was the tallest building in the world for 25 years. But I have to say, I have never went up there and taken a picture on the ledge, as they call it. So if you want to go up there and take a picture, you're going to have to do it without me because I am not going up there. As a matter of fact, me and Derek have a photo and it says like Sears Tower on it, but we never went up there.
Well, what do you do? Get a picture before you go up?
Right. Like they have a place where you can take a picture and we took a picture and he wanted me to go up there. And I would like literally got into the elevator and walked right out. I was like, no, I cannot do this.
That's hilarious. That actually, I have seen several people's pictures of that. And my mom has been to Chicago a few times. And she even went up there. So if my mom can do it, I feel like I can do it.
Well, you can, but I will not be. I'll be staying on the ground. I don't want to forget to mention Navy Pier. It has rides. It's perfect for if you have little kids and burning off their energy. It's just this long stretch of pier that's going right along Lake Michigan. The thing that people always see is like the Ferris wheel. I don't know if you've seen pictures of that before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, along Lake Michigan. That is what that is Navy Pier. It's really a neat place to go, especially if you want to see the lake.
So what's the catch in this trip to Chicago? What's going to go wrong? Where will the chaos be? Like, what are the do-nots of Chicago?
So I think really the main thing is going to be trying to get on the train and navigate the train. You think you're going to Millennium Park. You end up in some random neighborhood. But the other thing is also the weather. You never know what the weather is going to be there. If you're going in the wintertime, you're going to freeze. If you're going in the summertime, it might be warm. But especially if you're going in the spring and fall, it could be freezing cold in the morning, warm in the afternoon, freezing cold again. Think like Florida, but worse.
Sounds like a packing nightmare. Layers upon layers upon layers.
Yes. I would say if you're going in the summertime, that's a good time to go as far as like what you know that the weather is going to be. Now, even, I'm going to say this, I have went up many 4th of Julys, and sometimes the high is 70.
That sounds amazing.
Sometimes it's like 85. I've never been up there when it's been in the 90s. Can it happen? Yes, but it's never happened to me in the last however many years. And now, granted, I have not went every single year. So I'm just saying, over probably the last 10 years, I have not had a 90-degree 4th of July up there.
Okay, you sold me. Pizza cake, penguins, the bean selfies, possibly getting lost on the train. I'm ready to go.
Well, I promise between the food, the museums, the lake, Chicago will win everyone over. But that's going to wrap up our Chicago guide with a little bit of chaos on the side.
So don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review, share this episode with your favorite travel buddy.
And if you go to Chicago, tag us in the photo, especially if you're in front of the bean and there's a...
Yes. Make a cute reaction. Whoever's taking the picture, let them do something funny so we can all... Everybody's going to be looking at the reflections now in the bean pictures. With that said, may your flights be on time and your luggage never lost. But if it's not, that's where the fun begins. Bye.
Pack your dreams, grab your bag. Adventures call, let's zig and zag. From castles tall to ocean waves, magic made for wanderers brave. Theme parks light up the night, starry-eyed in sheer delight. Board the ships, set sail and see endless tales and fantasy. Chaos and carry ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride, join the journey, come inside. Pixie dust beneath our feet. Through the lands and sea we roam. Feel the wonder, feel at home. From rope drop to the fireworks show, lose yourself in the joyful glow.